In my previous video, I just had a simple video with no sound really to explain what was going on that showcased the Voxel Plugin Pro component off the Unreal Engine 4 Marketplace. I got it up and working pretty okay, pretty neatly. You can see this. There's some deformed terrain back here with just a simple, multiplayer character here. If we start it up, you're able to see it's connected. We can move around, we can jump, all the fun stuff that you can do in multiplayer. Nothing too crazy. So what I wanted to do is actually ignore those errors. Those don't typically happen with the default. But what I wanted to do is replace the cube geometry with another component that I'm looking at integrating in with this Voxel world, the CharacterCustomizer plugin. It's pretty fantastic. It's got like componentized models. It's got individual assets for each type area of the body. It's got all sorts of fun stuff in it. And I really like what the author of this has done, and I want to, as you can see, the model's pretty detailed. The animations are great. I would recommend checking out their page and looking at it if you're interested in how to set up a project that allows you to have individual components for for your character and swap out all of the various different clothes. What I wanted to do was replace the box with this. So there's a couple things I ran into that some folks on the Discord channel were able to assist me with. I'd like to shout out to Virus, Box Chat, and Vix with 2 eyes. They pointed me to the right place in the documentation, and with a little bit of help, I was able to get it working. You can kind of see it here in the screenshot where I've got 2 of the components working. But I ran into an issue, and I kind of want to showcase what that was here. So to do this, I was like, hey, you know what? I kind of want to make use of the female character out of the gate, and we'll replace this example multiplayer character with that. So we can just remove this from the scene here, delete it, and let's just drop in this character here. And let's rotate her around a little bit just so she's facing the other way. We hit play, and maybe you can see her, maybe not. Maybe not, because it doesn't extend something here. And so that character is not visible for the time being. So my first attempt was basically to just child this blueprint, and we'll just call it Voxel Multiplayer. All right. And so we've got all these things down here, and we're just going to remove it. We'll delete the reference to it. Oh, my bad. Let's recreate that Voxel Multiplayer, because there's a couple things we need to actually add into this blueprint to make it workable inside of the Voxel world. So we're actually going to hit play again. I don't think anything will change this time around. Yep, we've removed the box, but the character isn't showing up there yet. But there's a couple different things that you need to take a note of when you're doing this. And so for that, we'll take a look at the documentation that the individuals on Discord were willing to point out to me. There's a chunk under the Voxel Plugins Quick Start Guide that has additional steps. You need to add a Voxel Invoker component to your character, and you need to add extend your character from a Voxel character as the base class. So we're going to do at least one of those for the demo here. And so when we run this, we're still running we still have the cube as our main character component. So for ease, we're just going to overwrite the default one that I copied into this project. It's this. We're actually going to make use of the gameplay, the multiplayer game mode here actually, and replace this. So instead of us using the Voxel example multiplayer character, we're actually going to make use of the one that we created, the female BP Voxel multiplayer. Brand new one that we superclassed. We'll save it. And so now, when we start the multiplayer demo mode, you'll notice we got the character, but she fell through the world. And so that's not ideal. This is what I asked about in the Discord channel, and this is kind of what they showed me how to do. So if we take a look at this, we need to add a Voxel Invoker component. To do that, it's pretty easy. I just basically opened the Voxel example multiplayer blueprint, and there was this Voxel Invoker component that is part of it. You'll notice it says Voxel Invokers are used to configure the Voxel World LOD, collisions, and nav mesh. So this is what's actually added to your character to allow it to integrate in and like collide with everything. And so this is why she's falling through the world. So if we just copy this and pop it into our character that we created here, our Voxel Multiplayer blueprint. And you'll notice this is the one that has all of the various different parts of the mesh, and we just paste it in here. Voxel Invoker is now part of this. So now if we hit save, and we go in here, and we hit play, you'll notice that this character now can interact with the voxels. And in fact, if we look at our lovely lady who is standing on the top of this hill, she's gone as well because she actually fell through. Because remember, she wasn't part of the doesn't have an invoker attached. So if we swap that out, if we swap this one out for the, instead of the standard character customizer, and pop in one that actually knows how to use the invoker, you'll notice it popped it right to the edge of the map automatically for us because it knows how to deal with the collisions. And we can just put her on the top here and hit play. And so now both characters are colliding with the voxel world. They know how to interact with it. Obviously, you can see here. And so they're just both like hanging out, having fun up here on the top of the hill, looking at the sunrise. So that's an issue that I ran into. I just wanted to make sure that anyone who's also trying to reskin from the TCP Multiplayer and didn't quite read the quick start guide as in depth as they probably should have, just a nice, quick, easy way to get these things working. So hopefully this will be helpful, and it shows off two really fairly awesome assets from the Unreal Engine 4 store.